course, and the rest of your top 2 from each of the preliminary nights. This is when these drivers that have had, especially if you're Cannon on the far left, and you've had all week to sit and think, this is where the opportunity is to figure out what you have, as that is not going to be a pole shuffle driver, but that is Trey Marcham. You can identify that he won't be in the field based off the fact he doesn't have a hood over that car, but typically we'll see that when some of the drivers coming up here in the next couple of mains may have had issues either today or earlier in the week, want to make sure the car fires off. So Trey Marcham, we will see him coming up very shortly, and I believe
outside second row,
there you
B
go.
feature number 2.
Yeah, so he'll have an opportunity to lock this thing in through a B, but
He had a fantastic race night. He was second high in points coming out of his qualifiers and heat races and going into that A main event. So outside row number 1 on what was Monday night's program.
Justin Grant in the 2J, back with the NOS Energy Drink colors, finished second in Friday's preliminary action, trying to hang on and follow that talented kid named Logan Seavey, who we've had in the booth here. And it was a little bit difficult, but for Justin's sake, he thought the car was really good, so we'll see what he has here on a brand new racetrack. Shane Golobic,
runner-up on Monday night, last lap, last corner pass of Chris Windham to send Windham to the B and give Golobic a shot here at the pole shuffle in the Matt Wood Racing 17W that you see rolling around. He's out of Fremont, California. Holy cow, did that beach ball get signed by like a bunch of the drivers and pole shuffle cars?
I'm trying to see. Well, one says smelly, so
yeah, it's got some things that we
probably shouldn't put on TV.
Yeah, maybe cut that shot. Spencer Baston had a wild night. That's the winner of our O'Reilly Invitational Race of Champions in the 1S, and he drove 12th to 2nd in his preliminary night. He finished second to the biggest surprise in the entire field and the biggest upset of the past decade and change. That's the guy right behind him, the local boy out of Sand Springs, Oklahoma, Hank Davis, in the Matt Seymour Racing number 29.
Yeah, Georgia talked to him just a little bit ago before getting buckled in for this hot lap session. A night he said he won't forget. He relives those emotions from Tuesday pretty regularly at this point, and certainly the energy from that night is carried over into tonight. Again, no one had him winning, but what a moment it was. The electricity in this arena, certainly there's a lot of Okies going to be pulling for that driver here tonight.
You wonder if he can channel that. You wonder if he can funnel that all into one direction, take all of the noise, because there's a lot of noise around Hank Davis, who has drew the pole for the pole shuffle tonight, by the way, and just channel it into focus. Channel it into performance out of that race car, which has been really good all week, and his teammate as well, Timmy Buckwalter, that we're going to see in one of these sub-mains here tonight, was really fast too. Those cars have speed. Now it's time for the driver to perform.
Yeah, absolutely. Timmy went 9 to, I believe, 4 or close to 3rd there at the end. We'll have to double check, but he's in a B coming up. As once again, hot laps for our pole shuffle drivers that'll set the lineup for tonight's 55-lap A main event underway. Just take a look at Rico Abreu to turn 3 and 4.
Abreu, who had a last lap, last corner pass for the win on Wednesday night to tie him for the all-time most preliminary night feature victories. So a look back, Mitchell Moles was the guy that he passed on Wednesday night. Moles stuck it to the bottom. Abreu, at the last minute, up and around the high side, made the run around him. Then Friday night, last night, Justin Grant ends up runner-up to Logan Seavey. Seavey was on rails. Grant tried to reel him in, and Racetrack ended up getting abrasive around the bottom. So not a real great gauge of what speed would have been from laps 20 through 30. But we'll certainly get a better look as we come to the pole shuffle.
There is defending Chili Bowl champion Tanner Thorson, who picked up the Thursday night victory in his preliminary night. Looking to go back-to-back in his own car. Again, two-car effort for Tanner Thorson Racing. As you look at last night's winner, that is Logan Seavey, the Kevin Swindell Victory Fuel 39. One of the best cars, I think, in the building this whole week. As you take a look at Cannon McIntosh, who just won hot laps for the pole shuffle. Lap time of 11.272. So the day back Dalby Motorsport 08 on a rail. Needs another Zeus button there on that side panel, but other than that, she's ripping.
You wonder if there isn't a little recency bias. As good as Logan looked last night, it's been 5 days since we got to watch Cannon McIntosh at this point, right? And the Logan memory is fresh in our mind of him being good across the entirety of this racetrack and ripping from 5th to 1st in his qualifier, where we forget maybe just 48 hours previous how class of the field Tanner Thorson was the night before, or until the right rear tire went down on McIntosh's car late in the race on Monday night, how good he was. Those races, yeah, the Monday night main event finish was contested. Thorson's really wasn't. He had a decent amount of distance from Emerson Axum for most of the way through that race, and CV obviously last night for the first 20 of it before the track took some rubber around the bottom. But again, you wonder if there isn't fresh in your mind how good CV is, if maybe some of those other guys aren't a little closer to him than what we think.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously they had more time to work on their race car, kind of see how the track would changes. But, you know, again, if you're Logan Seavey, you're fresh off that victory, that momentum swing. And honestly, I would like to be in Logan Seavey's position, having just ran yesterday. You're fresh behind the wheel. You're not like Cannon McIntosh, who hasn't been in the seat. This is the first time since literally Monday night, almost 5 full days. So an opportunity maybe to, for Cannon to try to knock the rust off. Obviously, though, lightning quick in this hot lap session. We'll give you the rundown here as McIntosh won that pole shuffle hot lap session, 11.272. Then it was Tanner Thorson, 11.340. Justin Grant, Logan Seavey, Shane Golobic, your top 5. So Hank Davis, who drew the pole for the pole shuffle in the qualifying order, is 6th on the speed chart. Rico Abreu, 10 of 10. So a little surprising there. Again, just rolling in a brand new racetrack.
Yeah, but also, look, I mean, there's only a half second between 1st and 10th. That's a pretty close grouping, and some of it might deal with whether you were testing things, whether, okay, I'm really intending to be down to the bottom, but let's see what the high groove looks like. There's a lot of potential ways that you could see some of that differential coming in between them as drivers are starting to jump in and out of the cars.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw Tanner Thorson hop out and then shake Rico's car to put it in gear. So, thanks, Tanner.
In years past, right after the hot lap session is done, we have let crews come down into the infield like they are, get to the cars and work on them. I think we're waiting until we can get all of them in the infield, all of them with a safe position in the infield, and then we're going to let all those guys and girls, along with, you see air tanks, you see wheel wrenches, whatever it is that they can afford to bring down into the work area, go and tinker on the cars for just a little bit. To the point, even Kevin Swindell is down in there to talk to Logan, because this is going to be a big pole shuffle for CV. He's outside row number 1. Not necessarily so important that he ends up finishing first, but massively important that he doesn't back up a row when it comes to his shuffle.
Yeah, for sure. We saw what happened last year with Tanner Thorson racing his way through the pole shuffle, ultimately leading to that championship win in the 55 lappers. So if you're definitely Logan Seavey don't want to go backwards. Hank Davis, for sure, you want to try to be on the front row. But some of these guys buried in the draw, like Spencer Baston, Mitchell Moles, Justin Grant, and Emerson Axum, big opportunity to race your way into a good starting spot.
We talked about Timmy Buckwalter, the teammate of Hank Davis. There he was with the wheel wrench and the sweater on right there. Our infield reporters are on hand, and as soon as these guys get to thrashing, get to working, they're going to find out what we can, so we'll lean on them for some information. They are primed, rested, and ready to go, as our cameras are going to try to catch as much as they possibly can get in this little bit of time that they're going to have. And you can see one of our officials has got the hands up. You figure as soon as that thing drops.
It's like a running of the bulls here.
Caleb,
as soon as
you got
that
me
hand
there?
drops. Yes, Brian Ward, we hear you.
I was going to jump, but they still haven't let the crews go over there just yet. They're holding them until they get all the cars parked. But one of the crew members for Thorson threw over a wrench to him, and he was already making adjustments on the torsion stops on the rear of the car. They tossed him a wrench so he could get a head start. He was back there working on both sides, putting it around in or out, whatever he was doing, but he's got a head start on him.
There we go.
They just let him free.
Well, Brian, you're live, man. You've got control of your microphone. I see Connor Wade's down there as well, so you guys are off and hunting for information, and anything that you can get, anything that's pertinent or worth reporting on, you guys have free reign. Come right on into the broadcast as quickly Logan Seavey and Kevin Swindell begin conversing about what they just felt on the racetrack.
Yeah, you see Tanner Thorson there talking to his crew guys. You see Ace McCarthy in the cowboy hat, Tanner's teammate, offering some assistance as well.
So the guy that Tanner's talking to right now is Lee Lindgren, and Lee Lindgren has been the right-hand man for Tanner for a while, even all the way back to when Tanner jumped into the Clyde Lamar owned 3C and was running Wing 410s in California. That is a highly trusted advisor within that race team and organization.
Justin Grant down there. You see CV out of the car, checking out what's going on to his 39 Victory Fuel
Guys,
machine.
I just
Georgia, go ahead.
I have Cannon McIntosh here with me. It's been 5 days since we've seen you in the car. Didn't take long to get up to speed there. How did it feel to shake the rust off?
I felt really good on the bottom there. I figured after they worked it, it'd be pretty dominant down there. So jumped right down there, and car felt pretty solid. Looks like the top's going to be a little tough. So at least we're starting on the inside here, and hopefully get a good jump and run away with the second to last round.
Crew is making adjustments. What are they working on?
Just see if we can make it a little bit better, and hopefully open the gap up a little bit more. So obviously every car here is going to be strong, and everyone's going to figure it out. So we're going to do our best.
Cannon McIntosh, he topped the charts in that practice session, guys.
All right, appreciate it. Cannon goes inside of the second row, so he's going to be in the, I'm going to say, second to last shuffle with a chance to make the last shuffle if he can end up in the first couple of rows.
Guys, I'm down here with Logan Seavey. He's sitting out. You got Kevin working up on the left front of this one. Looks like he's putting some rounds in that coil over. You got him adjusting the bleeders back here. Tell me what your thoughts were on those few laps.
Yeah, I think we thought the track would have a lot more grip, and it didn't there. It was pretty slick right away, and the bottom blew right back off. So, yeah, just kind of, getting it snugged back up, have some grip, and we'll be the last guys on track. So this thing's going to have to take off good on the start and make speed right away. So, yeah, we're just going to get it tightened back up and digging, and hopefully, we can get to the pole of this one.
You got a good group of guys here. They're working fevers. They're making turns on every corner. So I know you put a lot of faith into them. So now that you've got these adjustments, tell me what your thoughts are.
Yeah, no, I feel good. I know where the car's at, and I know what I got to do my job. So yeah, I just got a lot of trust in these guys, and Kevin and Colton and Hunter and Lane that are setting this thing up, and they're doing a great job. So obviously they got us here, and yeah, I know my car's going to be good here for this little pole shuffle. Hopefully we got 2 lanes. I'm worried early it might just be around the bottom, but for me starting on the outside, that's not ideal. So hopefully I can get a good start, like I said, and hopefully the track gets a top going, and I could race with these guys and put this thing on the pole.
All right, we'll see how those adjustments work out. Logan Seavey's going to start.
There are a few better race strategists in the pit area than Logan Seavey, and we caught that last year when he basically called restart after restart, Tony Romo-esque from here in the booth when he joined us on our Flow Racing broadcast. The guy just sees it and gets it, and if he's got the right read on this racetrack, is going to know what he has to do as far as his racecraft goes, kind of the word of the week here at the Chili Bowl and back to the Tulsa Shootout, and what it's going to take to stay at least on that front row, if not advance to the pole position for the 55-lap A main event.
Take a look at Spencer Bason's going to go from the 7th position in that second group, but, we just saw Hank Davis. This is a first for him. He's never been a part of this. What are the nerves like for him? The really the unknown of what do I need to do? Where do I need to position myself? What kind of adjust? I mean, this is all unfamiliar territory. I can't imagine the pressure right now on Hank Davis.
There's another way to look at it, though, if you're Hank Davis. This is house money he's playing with.
Yeah,
he had expectations of him coming in and doing good, but from the outside in, very few people on their Tuesday night would have gone through all 60-something drivers that signed in and go, yeah, I think Hank Davis is going to win. Right? So he's in a position that a lot of people never dreamed of. The pressure for him is going to be all internal, all drive to succeed. Maybe when people are already counting him out, he does have the opportunity of a lifetime. He is guaranteed to start somewhere in the first couple of rows as Axum and Moles hand signals out the car. So here's how this is going to go. Outside row number 2 is Emerson Axum. Inside row 2 is Justin Grant. Outside row 1 is Mitchell Moles. Inside row 1 is Emerson Axum. The top 2 drivers will move on to the next shuffle, which will bring up the guys who drew 6 and 7. Axum low, Moles high, Grant low, Baston high. The top 2 move on. It's a very short little run as the lights are out around the racetrack, and they do not accelerate until they get to the flag stand. The green is out.
Quickly based into the bottom. Probably a really good move there. Mitchell Moles caught up on the top side. We'll see what kind of grip level is up on the top. Mitchell Moles starting to fade back a little bit from Emerson Axum. Gaggle of cars here for second. That's where the battle will be. Emerson's just trying to hang on for this win.
Emerson's got the bottom working. It's Baston's job now to play some serious defense on Justin Grant here in this what should be 4-lap shuffle. 1 lap per car as Moles has gotten back to the inside of Grant, looking for third.
Oh, Grant got into the cushion. And that'll do it. White flag is out, so he's going to be starting last out of these 10 cars, as up front, Baston can't quite track down Emerson Axum, but Axum's going to go ahead. He and Spencer Baston going to move on in the pole shuffle. So your last of the 10 lock-in cars are going to be Mitchell Moles and Justin Grant rolling off from 9th and 10th.
And it's Axum who ends up with the catbird seat there, right?
Yeah.
He is the guy who ends up one spot higher. So now Axum and Baston go off, and they will start in the back row. Coming out next, that is Rico Abreu. And Abreu, who ended up with the 5. That doesn't make any sense. We should have... Oh, no, you're right. It should be Golubic and Abreu. Okay.
Yep.
So
5 and
Golubic on the
6.
inside. Or Golubic on the outside, Abreu on the inside. Your Wednesday night winner and your Monday night runner-up. They're your front row. And behind them, Axum and Baston. 5 and 6 versus the move-ups from the previous shuffle. 4 laps around. Abreu down low, Golubic up high, bringing Emerson and Baston with them. They cannot go until the cone. We're off and running. Abreu down low, gets on the apron. Golubic trying to drive up and around, and Axum trying to put himself in position to advance a spot. Baston has fallen back and tucked in. As there's Golubic kind of digging for the bottom, looking for opportunity to move up. You get a look from the drone down there. And unless Axum or Baston's going to try something a little funky, 1 and 2 look pretty well decided here. Back straight away. And down to the white. There goes Emerson trying to blow off the high groove. Right now, this one, all Rico Abreu, as this will set row number 4. Abreu and Golubic move on. Axum and Baston will make up the front row for tonight's A main event. Let's bring out cars 3 and 4. It should be Cannon McIntosh on the inside and Tanner Thorson to the outside of the front row for the next one.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if somebody tries the top. I mean, again, the pole shuffle, all important, but again, lockdown on the bottom, it's kind of pretty tough right now for some of these drivers. We get the final 2 pushed off. Again, Cannon McIntosh, who rolled the 3, and Tanner Thorson the 4 here in the pole shuffle. So far, no big movers.
If they really don't believe there's anything in that upper groove, what you're going to watch for is Thorson to try to make that really bold move down to the bottom to slam the door shut on Abreu, who's going to be down low and on the inside and certainly pushing for everything he can.
Yeah.
So again, they can't start until the flag stand, or until the cone right in the front straightaway. That doesn't let Thorson swing out wide and try to out-accelerate McIntosh in the bottom of 1. Can he wrestle the bottom away from Rico going into the corner? And you can see Rico tucked right on Cannon's low side. There's Tanner up top. Now he's either got to circle him or get down. And he will choose to get down. So he beats Abreu to the bottom of 3 and 4. Boy, up on the high side, Golubic is actually looking a little bit sportier than what we've seen some guys get up there.
Yeah, it's just going to take a few laps to get that thing worked in. Again, these are so short. I don't know. He may be able to get by Rico here, but again, he will be eliminated.
He could be doing Logan Seavey a huge favor, and could be doing Tanner Thorson a huge favor as well by getting up there. And you can see here's the momentum building up. So Golubic trying to show the way around the high side. Rico good down low, but this pole shuffle is done. McIntosh and Thorson move forward. Abreu and Golubic will be row 3 of the A main event tonight. And again, did Golubic just show us that there is a high side for Logan Seavey and Tanner Thorson to use here in the final shuffle? The most improbable winner, Hank Davis, the pole for the pole shuffle. And outside of him, dominance on Friday night, Logan Seavey and the brand new Bertrand Swindell own 39. Lights are out. This is for the first 2 rows of the A main event. We're green. Logan Seavey might try to get up and around on the first lap. He sticks with him down the back straightaway as Thorson trying to show something. Thorson's going to try to get down and fill the spot that Seavey isn't right now, and Logan Seavey using the high side.
Yeah, Logan's just trying to keep that thing wound up. I think he thinks he's confident enough that Shane Golovic blew off enough of it that he's going to have a run. Hank Davis doing a masterful job on the bottom. You ride on board with the Austin Blair drone. You got Thorson up top following Seavey. McIntosh on the bottom following Hank Davis. 2x2, pretty even. Let's see what kind of run Seavey has off a 4. White flag, I think he had it at the line. One more time around for the pole.
Can Davis get the pole, or is it Logan? Logan, the only guy to make the high side work, gets down, close the door, and has the pole for tonight's main. Logan Seavey and Hank Davis make up your front row.
Rowdy's going nuts. They smell something in the building for Logan Seavey. Friday night dominance, races his way to the pole of tonight's 55-lap Chili Bowl A-Main. And he gives a salute to the Rowdies there in turn number 2.
He loves them, and they show the love right back. The pole shuffle is done here at the Chili Bowl. But that's just the start. We have 2 C's, 2 B's, and an A main to go. And folks, the ever popular opening ceremonies is about to come out. Parade of States and our introductions on the evening. It'll take them a minute or 2 to get the stage set up and get everything up and going. We want to thank you for being with come out. Parade of States and our introductions on the evening. It'll take them a minute or 2 to get the stage set up and get everything up and going. We want to thank you for being with us here on our live broadcast of the 37th Annual Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals here on Flow Racing, MAV TV on Flow Racing, presented by NOS Energy Drink. As you get a look at some of the drivers getting ready to make their way down, get staged up, and make their appearance out in front of this gigantic crowd here at the SageNet Center. This is Expo Raceway for the 37th running of Chili Bowl.
I tell you what, pole shuffle, a lot of speed in all 10 of those cars. It clearly was a little tough to pass. So in terms of last year, we saw Tanner Thorson making up a bunch of positions through the pole shuffle. Emerson Axum picked up a row, but other than that, Logan Seavey big time from outside pole to the pole.
Hank Davis was certainly not in a bad shape there. Had speed, raced him really hard. Seavey's just been a little bit next level good over the past 24 hours here in this arena. Gives us a really, really fun front of this field to look forward to, and a really long race too. 55 laps is grueling on this racetrack, considering that we usually have a relatively large track rework at first.
Yep.
And
It changes
tough.
quick.
It changes quick, but there's a lot of speed held at the first part.